watching us here on a fresh new episode of The Weekender on CNBC-TV18. It's been 10 years since Varun Berry joined Britannia. In this period, the company's revenues have doubled, but the profits have quadrupled. He hasn't spoken to the media in a while, so we thought why not pin him down in his office in Bengaluru and have a conversation, not about the past, but about the future. For the first time, we also have with us the CEO of Britannia, Rajneet Kohli, joining in. Come in. Very well, it's been so long. Varun, 10 years at Britannia. I mean, I just was calculating a few years at Pepsi. It's about 17, I guess.
18.
18 years at Pepsi.
Yeah.
7 years at Unilever.
That's right.
10 years at Britannia. You've worked for longer than I've been born. Do you realize that?
I realize that, and I see that as well. Young boy.
Sorry, just pulling your leg out there. But before the pandemic, you had set yourself onto this total food company path as well, which of course fell by the wayside during the pandemic, and now you are bringing that up as well. So that is the real thing. What next for you? 10 years here, what's next?
So that's a good point. So if you think about it, while we saw a huge momentum in the business during the pandemic, what really happened was that this whole strategy of total foods, etc., just fell by the wayside. And the reason for that was that the demand was high, and for us to be able to get our products to the maximum capacity, we optimized it, and we said we will only produce 10 brands of, we will just produce these SKUs, right? So that we could get maximum runs, etc. So this entire whole, total foods, etc., fell by the wayside. Now getting that back, we have got it back. In the last year or so, we've got the whole croissant JV back on track. It's doing really well. We've recently announced our cheese JV with Bell. We are getting traction on some of the adjacency products as well. Cake is back. Cake was, on the go. So it was affected very badly during the pandemic. We're getting it back. We've got the momentum there. So now is the time for us to get back on stream with our total foods dream and make sure that we get new products to the fore, we get new connections with consumers, with new offerings, and that's what we are looking forward to.
What does the market look like right now for you? I mean, during the pandemic, there was this surge of artisanal players. There was this surge of new categories coming in, D2C guys. Everyone is familiarized with a lot of other things. So do you think that put you all back by a little bit, and you'll have to climb a little harder to get back with the innovations, etc.?
Yes, probably. So as I was telling you, it set us back by a few years on new products because we didn't have the capacity nor the bandwidth to do it. But what we've done now is we've come back with a renewed, focus and a lot of passion on this. And yes, it'll take us a little longer. And what we have done is the new businesses, we've set it up as agile teams, right? So the decision-making processes are much shorter. They report directly to me. I take very quick decisions, and they get what they need. And I think that is working quite well for us, and that's showing in our new business, results as well.
So, how long before the core actually gets cracking at a much faster pace, so to say?
Well, see, you're right. The fact is that when your business is large, it becomes very difficult for the smaller businesses to start to contribute big numbers. But if each one of these was to contribute 1%, and let's say we had 5 of these, that would mean 5% to the overall business, and that's a big deal. But we are hoping that 5% becomes 10% over the years, and we are able to get, more and more to the pie.
So your core grows at about 10% volumes. That's what you've, your aspiration has been medium to long term. The adjacencies add in another 5%, growing faster than the base. So, increasing in contribution. Your international business grows a little faster than that. And then you have some cream, so to say, coming on top from maybe some newer categories that you enter, your capacities, etc. Are we looking at mid-teens, high-teens sort of growth for the next foreseeable future?
Well, that's the aspiration, Mangalam, for sure. If I was to write a strategic plan for the next 10 years, that would be my target.
What other things would your strategic plan include?
Well, you know it all. See, I have not made any dramatic changes from a strategic standpoint ever since I joined, right? It's been incremental. It's been more of the same, but with renewed focus and renewed execution. So I would keep the same. It's all about getting into other categories, growing the core, but also getting into new categories, growing those faster, making sure that we will not be able to get the kind of profit growth that we've seen in the past, but making sure that you inch your way up even in profitability.
You said that profitability may not grow as fast as it has grown in the past, of course, on account of the high base as well. And a lot of the low-hanging fruits, so to say, were shaken away. How much more is there potential of incremental cost savings?
So cost savings, as you know, Mangalam, we've been saving almost 2% for the last 8 years.
Yes.
Right? And this year it's going to be 2.5%. So I've been asked this question forever.
Yes.
Right? That, how long are you going to get this 2% out? And we proved it this year that we can even get more than 2%. You're probably going to get 2.5% because the inflation was so high. We really redoubled onto that, saving platform.
You've reduced the distance that an average truck of Britannia travels.
Yeah.
Give me some other examples where you see scope for costs to reduce.
So we are a baking company. A lot of cost in energy itself because we bake products. There's a lot of energy which is required. And that's one of our biggest platforms. If you think about it, we've got so many factories and so many baking lines. We keep tightening the technology. We've also got this new oven which is called the 21C oven, which is patented.
Okay.
So all of those things, that's our biggest area of focus. How do we get savings out of the process of baking? The government has come up with some very good initiatives. The PLI scheme, we've invested 611 crores during this period for PLI. That's going to give us some money in the kitty. Similarly, the new technologies that we are bringing are giving us savings, not just from a baking perspective, even from a labor perspective, reducing labor, automating our machines, etc.
So now with the gross margin benefits coming to you and all these incremental cost benefits that you are looking at, are we looking at EBITDA back to the 19% plus levels that we once saw during the pandemic when things were good for you in terms of cost and demand?
We are in a place where we've sort of got all our inflation, outweighed by either price increase or cost savings. So we are in a good place, and I think we are pretty much, at the level that we were at the pre-COVID kind of levels.
I was looking at your ad spends. As a percentage of sales, it's still very measly as compared to some of the other FMCG companies, etc. as well. I mean, 3 to 4%. Now that things are okay, are you looking at increasing them as a percentage of your sales?
So yes, our ad spends did, take a back seat during the pandemic. We are not a category which spends too much money on ads, and because of the size, even a 4%, 4.5% means there's enough money to give the right kind of weightage to most of our brand. For the new categories, for the new innovation products, even within core categories, we spend a lot of money. And if that's the way we have to get our brands in front of the consumers, we will do that.
What's your ideal revenue mix coming in from biscuits and the non-biscuit portfolio? How much that comes from dairy and all the NPDs that you keep talking about, new products, etc., which currently are about 3.5%. What is your ideal revenue mix?
So
in that strategic plan that you spoke about?
So 10 years from today, 5 years from today, 2
3,
years.
5, 10, give me all of that.
Oh my
The
God.
glide path.
Okay, so I would say 3 years, at least 35% of our revenue needs to come from outside of biscuits, right? 5 years, almost 40-45 needs to come from, you know, adjacency categories, which is outside of biscuits. And ideally, in let's say 10 years, it should be a 50-50 portfolio.
And all of this while the core grows at 10% at least, right?
Yes.
So that means that we are planning a roadmap to 50,000 crores in terms of revenues. I mean, you've done the company from 6,500 to around 15,000 crores now. The road is 30-50. Is that what you're thinking?
Okay, you're putting, yeah, sure, you're putting me under pressure, but yes.
It's the sun, that's not me.
You're getting baked right now. While I'm in the shade. Yeah.
That's my cue. Let's move in. But before we do that, actually, I'll pick up my favorite Britannia cookie from
Same.
You like ginger?
I love ginger.
Oh, let's go cheers on ginger.